This is a quick video just showing you all the basic bits of gear you need to install a hardwired CCTV setup in your home, and just a bit about the basic connectivity and setup process. So this is just a very small setup that we're installing for one of our customers. The main bits of kit you'll need is an NVR. So this is the brains of the operation. This is what you connect your cameras up to. This is the unit that does the recording, and then potentially connects to your network and allows you remote access to your camera system through the Hikconnect app. So you need an NVR. This one is PoE, which means these cameras transmit data, picture, and they receive power just down one Cat6 cable. You're going to need cameras, obviously, as many as you'd like. Now this is a 4-port NVR. For the sort of small, medium, even large size home, you might need an 8-channel NVR. They do go bigger than that as well, but the main ones that we fit are sort of 4 and 8 for most domestic uses. Cameras, we're using this turret cam, Hikvision Acusense. It's got a mechanical zoom on it as well. So we're just going to be using 2 of these in this customer's setup, one on the front of the house, one on the back of the house. We've just installed some Ring doorbells for them as well, so that gets the sort of low level stuff. These are just going high level on the soffit to capture a bit more information. Now this unit records to a hard disk. Now the hard disk doesn't come with it, so the size of the hard disk will be determined by the number of cameras, the quality of the recording, and the length of time that you'd like to keep your footage for. So this is just a 2 terabyte hard drive. Some of the NVRs have 2 hard disk slots, so you can line up 2 side by side for higher quality, longer lasting recordings. Now these come with a mouse, but they don't come with a screen, and you'll need a screen to go through the setup process. So just pinch this customer's old telly just to set it up. Once that's done, as I said, you can monitor the footage from your phone, but if you need to go in and do any fine tuning of the setup, it's best to do it on a bigger screen using the mouse and the interface on the NVR. So let's have a look at how to start installing these products. Right, so around the back you can see we've got our 4 PoE ports. That's where the cameras get connected into. We've got LAN, local area network, that will plug into your router to provide you remote access. We've got HDMI or VGA for the monitor, and then we've got a USB connection for keyboard or mouse, and then power. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove those black screws that you can see from around the unit. It gives me access to the board inside, and we'll install the hard drive. Now with the NVR, you get these 2 cables for connecting up the hard drive to the motherboard. Okay, so this is inside the unit. Never ceases to amaze me how little there is going on in here. That's all it is. So you see here we've got 4 little holes. This is where we locate the screws for the hard disk. Have a look at the bottom of the hard disk. See, we've got 4 screw holes. They line up there. In addition to the leads connecting the hard drive to the motherboard, you get 4 retaining screws. So we'll do that first. We'll screw that in place, and then we'll connect up the hard drive. So you can see here are the connections, and there are the connections to the motherboard. So we're going to orientate the hard drive this way, because obviously the leads that we are provided with are relatively short. So We'll make the distance between the connections on the motherboard and the hard disk as small as possible. Right, so the hard disk is secured in place. You see there's the 4 screws located underneath, nice and tight. So that hard drive isn't going to shake around. You see I've just lifted the tape on this lead so I could fit the hard drive underneath. Let's make the connections. So on the hard drive side of things, you see we've got 2 different shaped L connectors, one larger one smaller one, so that's fairly self-explanatory as to where they go on the hard drive. You just push both those in so they're nice and tight, and then a nice colourful lead clips onto the motherboard here. Again, it will click in nice and tight, and that one loops over and clicks into that port there, that jumper. So those are the connections made inside. We can put the lid back on now, replace those screws, and then we can power up the unit. Right, so we've got everything plugged in. You see we've got the mouse that it comes packaged with and the USB, HDMI for the old telly we're using to set this up. I've got both the cameras plugged in, however I've only terminated one of these at the moment. You can see which one actually. I've not terminated the LAN cable yet either, so I should probably just whiz those out. And then if we look to the screen, you can see we can select our default language. There we go, so just set that to 1080p. Pick a password. I'm just going to pick a password for this. Okay, so once we've entered the password we'd like to use, the next screen just prompts us to punch in an email that we can use to reset the password if we forget it. Right, so we'll leave the other bits for now. Next up, we can punch in an unlock pattern, which we can use in lieu of typing in the password. So the first time you do that, you just do it twice to confirm. And then we're in the setup wizard. So use time, date format, 31st of March. Yep, that's right. System time is actually, let's check the time now, 13:52. Cool. Next, we can leave the DHCP settings and the auto obtain DNS as they are. So let's move on to the next one. Now you can hear the bleep in the background. That just means that the hard drive hasn't been initialized, formatted for use in this NVR. So I'll just check this box and click on init, and this will initialize the hard drive. It just prompts you, it will erase all the data, which is fine because there's nothing on there anyway. Click on OK. You see that it says initializing. Just give that a minute. Click on next. You can see your 4 ports at the top here, 3 of which have that little cross on them. One's got a tick. That'll do for now. As soon as we plug in the next camera, it will pick it up automatically anyway. I'm just going to click on next. Oh, and this is Hikconnect, which we're not going to set up just yet because I've not yet plugged the NVR into the router. So we'll just click on finish. And there's our first camera. So what we can do is right click anywhere, go to menu, go to configuration at the top, go to camera, display, camera name, just give it a name and apply. That then pulls that tag through onto the live view down here. It says front garden, and it'll pull it through onto the app as well. If we go to events, motion detection is enabled. You can see here the zone that is detecting motion. Now I'm going to leave this as it is for now. Obviously this is a road here, and so you might get vehicles driving past triggering the motion detection, which at the moment it's not set up to notify the app, Hikvision Hikconnect app, but we can set that up to notify the app, so that might get a little bit annoying if we leave the motion detection area as it is. Right, so now we've terminated the Cat6 cable at this end and it's plugged into the router. So then we come to the configuration settings, platform access, we enable Hikconnect, and then we apply those settings and we wait for the connection status to be online. And now we can add the device to the Hikconnect app. So let's have a quick look at that. So we open Hikconnect, we go to add device. And then hover it over the QR code. It'll pick up the fact we're trying to add the NVR. Click on save, and there we go. So that device has been added. We'll click on the picture of the NVR and it brings up a live view. Double click on one of the cameras, and that then allows you to view that particular camera. 3 dots in the top right hand corner give you access to different settings and the playback function. We can click and drag the timeline to have a look at the recorded footage. So that's a quick rundown of how to set up and install your NVR, how to initialise the hard drive, make some basic settings, and add your NVR to the Hikconnect app.